Hello again. So I'll just jump into it. Let's do this. So I'm not done yet. For starters, I've only started talking up here, lucky for you. But I'm also beginning my story of adulthood. Though I've ended my days of high school, almost, I'm nowhere near done with all of it. I've spent 13 of my 18 years in school so far. It's a lot of schooling. But to be perfectly honest, graduating has always seemed like an abstract idea or something I couldn't quite grasp. I still don't feel that it's real. I mean, I got my stole and I got my ring, and it just still seems vague and far away, but it's really not. It's been kind of sitting in the back of my mind forever. I always wished for it to happen, mainly because when I was younger, my papa was sick, and he'd promised that he'd always see me walk across the stage. He's a fighter, never breaks a promise, and I'm really thankful that he's going to be able to see me walk and fulfill the promise he made. Graduation is my way to make everyone proud of what I've done so far. I mean, I've made it here. If I were to predict my future when I was younger, I'd probably never thought of who I am today. I've just kind of blossomed, especially within high school. Funny thing, actually, I was in the yearbook for high school transformation. They compare freshman year Tori to senior year Tori, and I said, as a freshman, I was shy and less open to talking to new people, but now that I'm a senior, I've gained more confidence. Wow, that was kind of cool to be in there. It made me really think about how much I've grown. I thought about all that I've been through, and I smile because I did it. When you hit these little milestones, you think back and recognize that you did it, you lived, you were there. I still don't feel that my childhood is almost over. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll never lose my childlike heart, especially dancing into songs, but I'm afraid. I'm very afraid to be thrown into the adult world. I honestly have to admit that I'm terrified of what could happen, the good and the bad. The thing that makes me the most nervous about jumping into life is that everyone around me seems like they have a solid plan on what they'll do after high school, but I don't. And that is something I don't really want to be on the other side of. I don't want to be the only one without a plan of where to go or what to do. I have just a couple of basic ideas of what would be nice, but I'll probably change the plan I made last week by the end of school. You see, I want to go to college, but finances and my mental preparedness are my problem, so I'll just stick with ACC as a starter. I also want to go into the Peace Corps, but finding a good time or, what I'll do is just difficult and a whole other story about where I'll go. But it seems like everyone knows what they'll do in the future. But I'm starting to see that I may not be alone in the confusion of that, of not having a set plan, and that's a little comforting. A scripture from Proverbs says, "She is clothed with dignity and strength, and she laughs without fear of the future." This really comforts me because I know I'll be just fine. I don't want to fear the future, and I don't really. I know that it's all going to be changing and things are going to happen. I just don't need to fear it. I probably will worry a little bit, but don't we all worry a little? I know what I want to maybe do, but as most of you know, especially my mother, I'm so very indecisive. I could practically change my mind on everything. I'm also very terrible at exact answers, too. Like if someone asks me, "Do you want this?" Let me think, decide 3 different times, and then when someone finally tells me to make a final decision, I'll wish I chose something else. I'm a mess, really, but my only solid choice in life I've made is to help people, wanting to be there, to care for them, love them, listen, just being there. I'm still not sure what exact profession I'll go into, but I'm leaning towards a general area of education and psychology. I can breathe easy, though. I know that God has already set out a plan for me. I don't have to worry about that as much as, I need to or want to, but life goes pretty fast with so many unexpected detours along the way. And you can't forget the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he refers to life as if you don't stop to look around for a while, you could miss it. I think that's very true. You have to look around at the world that God made. Sometimes it's painful, like when my family fights with each other and we say regrettable things that we really don't mean, or when my friends and I disagree and we lose connection from each other, or when I hated on myself based on what the world thought of me, or when I felt that I wasn't good enough, or even simpler, when I forgot to wear sunscreen at the beach and I turned bright red. But life is more beautiful than ugly. Like Gungor wrote, God makes beautiful things out of us. Like the day my life opened up and my parents got married and I got my daw, as I called him, as my 2-year-old self. Or when my family decided we'd go to Grace and I found my second family and I truly found God in the middle of me trying to find where I belong and put the pieces together. And I found that I belong amongst God's children. So also, another thing that would be great, finding someone who I can be a huge dork around, or even when my hair cooperates and I feel pretty with my curls. But from the life-flipping moments of moving from city to city, or the tiniest detail of getting birthday cards, life has so many things and people and times that God picked for each of us to experience in our own way and for all of us individually. What a blessing that is. Well, I'm up here to talk to you about the ending of high school and how content I am in life, really. I have good friends, a wonderful family to count on, or even better, I have the Lord of the Dance to dance with me. From a song we learned at Midwinter's, Lord of the Dance, it says, "Dance wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, says he. And I will lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, says he." Because I think that's just what life is how you dance. We all have our differences on how we dance, but we're all still harmonious together. The scripture today from Jeremiah 29 talks about how the Babylonians were cast out of their land. I think we all could relate. Maybe not as extreme as being, abandoned out of our country or something. Not all of us experience that. But we can relate to the feeling of being abandoned or left out. Though when they were cast out, God was there comforting them. And that really helps me. It makes me feel better for any time that I might have gotten mad, but he still forgives me and still loves me. I've had a lot of problems fitting into groups and making friends. When I was younger, I really hated people. Don't really know why, but I was very introverted. Did not want to talk to anyone. Was painfully shy. But obviously, I kind of got out of that. Otherwise, I would have been crying a little bit up here. But I guess my shyness kind of scared people away, because it took me a really long time to make any friends. And it still takes me a while, but I'm better. I'm more confident than I was. I've opened up to the world around me, and I've been able to laugh at my flaws and not be afraid of what people might think of me or that I might be judged, because I know that God's love fills me, and I was made in his image. So, I must be doing something cool. But I still have insecurities about myself, don't get me wrong. But I'm feeling more beautiful than how small I felt when I was younger. When I got into high school, I began taking up more leadership roles. I was opening up myself and I was involving myself in church, and it became a second home pretty much here at Grace. With lots of support and acceptance from all of you guys. You all really helped me grow. I was a youth elder twice, and that's where I began my understanding of leadership. Recently, I was an MPT, which is a Midwinter's planning team, and that was really awesome. Definitely helped me get out of my shell more and talking to people and getting up the nerve to do this. And now I'm a deacon, which I really love because I get to help people, write them birthday cards and letters and give lots of hugs. Love those. But I know that I'll always be my biggest critic. I know that God always has a plan for me, so I don't really have to critique myself that much. But, the scripture says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord." He already knows what he'll do for me and what I will accomplish in my life and how everything will turn out. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. He wants me to be happy in life, even though there are hardships or things that make me hurt and be filled with anger towards him or towards anyone else. His goal isn't to injure me, isn't to injure us, but to help us and to help me. I have to always remind myself of that. You can't be the best of yourself until you've seen the worst of yourself. And those are little lessons that you learn along in life. Plans to give you a hope and a future. He wants me to have a fulfilled life in his world of doing what I do best and finding my purpose in the world, something that I can hold on to while I'm on earth, while we're all on earth. Like I said, I'm not done yet. I want to do beautiful and encouraging things in the future, to help people from the same spots that I was in, or even just being there when there's tears of sadness or tears of joy. God does have a plan and purpose for all of us while we're here. None of us are done yet. We will find our plan in God. And as Dr. Seuss says, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your soul, shoes. You can steer yourself wherever you choose. So listen to your heart and know that you're off to great places. Today is your day. It's our day. Thank you.